Thank you very much. You know, have you been to a place, you know, typical Ghanaian MC, and they come along and they say, our next speaker does not need an introduction. He was born in 1963. He went to primary school. After they say he needs introduction, they spend 1 hour introducing the person. Why am I saying this? Because my next guest really needs no introduction. So put your hands together. Show some love for Nana Aba Anamoah. You got it.
Where do I sit? Anywhere?
Anywhere. Feel free, man. Feel free. You're the diva.
It's good to be here.
I'm glad you're here. We're going to pause for a small commercial break. When we come back, let it all hang.
Sweet.
Let it all hang. Stick around, folks. Nana Aba in the house. We'll be right back.
If you reach for that remote, I will bite you. The KSM show will be right back.
And we are back. It's good to have you here, man.
The KSM show.
Well, I've been trying to have you here for years, man.
I know.
There's
a time for everything.
I guess there is, man. Because the first time I was trying to get you here was when you were doing New Day.
Yes.
On TV3.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I couldn't get you here.
I know.
But I have you here now.
Finally. You have me.
Let me start off with a very, very silly introduction to our conversation.
Okay.
Well, I don't know whether it's silly, but you know Councillor George Lutrot?
I know of him.
He has you classified, you and some other woman. I think it's called Mefanisa.
What does that mean?
Something like, well, you've decided that, Charlie, this your lot. You never get married again. You'll be single for life or something like that.
Well, I don't want to descend into the same, gutter with people who think they know others better than they themselves know themselves. I saw things on my TL, but I didn't give it my time of day.
Okay.
I don't really give prominence to those things. I don't have time for those things.
So
no, I don't have time. I really don't have time. But I don't have time. This is. I think that people. He's not the only one who thinks that every woman at a certain age must be married. I've seen a lot of people. I have family. People who tell me, oh, when are you getting married? They ask me those questions. I have friends. I meet strangers for the first time. That's the first question they're asking me. Yeah. And I just say to myself that, why is it that women are judged? I feel fulfilled. I have a 17-year-old son. He'll be 17 in September. I have a job. I love what I'm doing. I'm living my life. But people think that my life is only complete when I wear a ring and live with a man. That is so archaic and stupid. And sometimes I ran out of descriptions for that a woman is only.
Where do you think that comes from, though? Because it's so ingrained. It's part of our fabric as Ghanaians or something.
I wonder why. I really wonder why that you are only ticked complete when you're married.
Yeah.
So the hard work, waking up at dawn, doing research, toiling, sweating, that doesn't count until you're married. That is why a lot of young people are getting married and the divorce rate is so high because there's societal pressure. And until we get men especially not to speak the way some men speak, and women most importantly, because sometimes the pressure is from the women a lot, because they feel they're married, so everybody should be married. No, it doesn't work that way. Then I should be saying that I'm on TV, so every woman should be on TV. But that's not,
Give it up.
Yeah.
I know. Sometimes I wonder how it feels. I guess I will never know, but the pressure, and like you said, many women are settling now.
Yes, a lot of them.
They have to, there's like a time limit.
There's pressure. There's pressure on them to settle down. And I don't know whether the pressure is coming from their mothers the aunties, the female friends, because they are with a group of friends and 5 of them are married, you're the 6th, you're not married. So you need to compromise. You need to settle down with whichever man is available for you. And they're being beaten up. The number of calls I get from women I don't know, they're being beaten up by their husbands, they're being maltreated. 3 weeks ago, a lady who works at Cocoa Board called me. She didn't know me from anywhere. She called me and said that her husband slept with her maid servant. She confronted her husband and she was beaten to pulp. She was beaten to pulp. She went to her family and they said, oh, you know, understand him, forgive him. And she's there and she's suffering. Is this what marriage is about? I really don't know. I think there's too much pressure. Marriage is not for everyone. I don't know where in the Bible where it's stated that every woman must be married or every man must be married. If they find it, they should show it to me. And then maybe I will. I will look at the proposals that come my way.
You must have a lot though, don't you? Don't you have a lot?
Well, just like any woman. Just like every woman, I guess.
Are they intimidated too? Do you find
I think
at some
so.
levels that...
I think so. I think a lot of my... when I say a lot, it's as if I've dated thousands of men. I think most of my ex-boyfriends were quite intimidated.
Really?
There were some who really couldn't be bothered. I mean, they urged me on. They encouraged me. I was lucky to find some like that. I also found some who just didn't want me to be on TV. I remember a man I came close to being very serious with, and he said that you need to quit this job because...
Really?
Yes, because you're getting calls from all sorts of men. We're going out and everybody's looking at you. He just couldn't stand it. And he also couldn't stand the fact that I was handling a political program and I had to be firm. I had to be assertive and keep men in check. He just didn't like that part. He thought I was a control freak.
You're a control freak?
I am not, actually. I am not. I mean, I cry easily. I cry easily. I mean, on TV, I'm a completely different person.
Yeah, that's your personal TV.
Yes,
strong.
Yeah, very strong.
Yeah.
But I'm very emotional as well.
What makes you cry?
Oh, if you touch my son.
Touch your son?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. I will cry. I
know you are very, very... Well, it's your son, so you'll be attached. But there's some extra... Because I remember one awards night, some musical thing that I was on, and then they... No, was it radio and TV?
It was the radio and TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I brought my son.
You brought your son, and you said something, though, that there was pressure to abort the son, and you didn't, and you're so proud of him, and he stood there with you.
Yes. He's my all, my life.
But there was pressure to...
Yes, that was, I mean, I was a teenager. I mean, I was very young. I was out of secondary school. I had no life, and I got pregnant. So there was pressure on me. There was pressure on my parents.
Wow.
You know, my mom felt, you're a teenager. How can you be pregnant? And my mom is very religious. My dad... Oh, he couldn't be bothered. You're pregnant, so what?
So what?
Yeah.
What's the story?
Yeah, exactly. He didn't understand why my mom was so worked up about it. Yeah. But my mom, I could understand her because she's very religious. She has friends who are very religious, and your daughter is not married, and she's a teen, and you know,
they judge you.
They judge you. Yeah. So there was pressure on her, and I also couldn't handle it in the beginning. And I must tell you that I considered all sorts of things, but in the end, I decided to have the baby, and I think it's the best thing that has happened to me. That is why when people come to me and say that you need to get married, I just look at them and laugh and think that you must be the most senseless person in the world, because you can get married to the best man in the world. At some point it won't be the same, but the love of your child will forever be the same. It will never ever change. And so I adore my son, and if anybody, and sometimes he comes home, I remember when he was about 9 or 10, he came home, they were asked to write myself, and he didn't know what to write for his father. So he came home in tears, and I really cried. You know, I wish he had a relationship with his father, but that relationship has never been there. You know,
the father is around, though.
I guess so.
You guess?
I guess he's around. Yeah. He is. So yes, my son is very attached to me. I adore him. He's a very independent young boy, but I love him. He's everything I live for.
Wow. Put your hands together, man. And oh, I have to, before I forget, you have this great reading project that's going on.
Raising Readers.
What's it called?
Raising Readers.
Raising Readers.
Yes.
Tell me about it, because.
Well, it's something that I've been passionate about. I love reading. I was introduced to books at a very tender age by my father. May his soul rest in peace. And for the longest time, my father kept telling me that, look, you've become a household name. You try to do charities on your birthday, but that's not enough. Giving foodstuff and clothes to people is not enough. You've got to do something that really imparts knowledge. You know, so try and put a reading project together. And for 5 years, my father kept telling me to do it. I never did it till he passed away.
Really?
And then
when did he pass away?
my father passed away 2 years ago.
2 years ago?
Yes,
Oh,
2 years ago.
okay.
And I was distraught that I couldn't do it for him and for myself. So last year, I tried to put all of this together. But a lot of things took my attention as well. But this year, I managed to launch it. And so every Saturday, I go to communities. Like, for instance, last Saturday, I was in Bukom with my friends. And there were about 200 children who turned up to read with us. Yeah.
So the children come and then you read to them?
Yeah, we read with them.
Oh, you read with them?
With them. So you read a child. It's the same book. So there's a group of about 8 or 10 with an ambassador or a volunteer. So they read together one storybook. So you read a paragraph, a child reads another paragraph. In the end, you discuss the book, you discuss the characters, what the children are taking away, the new words they came across, the meaning, how they can use it.
And they're enjoying this?
They are enjoying it. I mean, I've been so impressed because when I started, people said, oh, for the communities you are targeting, you probably won't get the best out of them. But that was the challenge for me, that if everyone thinks that these communities are a write-off, that is where I want to go. So I'm targeting...
So which communities are you targeting?
For now, the first phase of the project is in the Greater Accra region. So I'm targeting very deprived communities, Kolegono, Jamestown, Bukom, you know, those areas. And the children turn up to read. They are coming in their numbers. They are, in the beginning, they are shy. But later, the ambassadors are also people who enjoy reading. I'm not just taking anybody at all. I'm taking people who love to read. So, for instance, there is a Michael Otieje, sports journalist. He reads a lot. So he's there with the children and reading with the children. So the children are very comfortable. They make mistakes, and he says it's okay. Because when I started, I also made mistakes. Even at this age, I still make mistakes. So it's okay. So I am loving it. And the children, their attention span is 100%. When we take a break and we have to dance Azonto and the likes, we dance the Azonto. But right after dancing, we go back into our sessions, and it's fantastic. Yeah, I love it.
So what's the long term? What do you want to achieve in the long term?
In the long term, I want to inculcate the habit of reading. You know, in the past, you could see people, where I schooled at Alcid Academy, reading was a competition. The number of books you could read in a week, you know, it was a competition. Now you don't see that. People are too busy on Instagram and Facebook, and if they have to go to a website to read, it's a gossip column. And I don't think that's good. And children who read grow up to be adults who think. You know, so I think that we should get the children in the long term, and I'm doing this with some organizations, Tigo and Cowbell and Zoomlion and of course EIB. And in the long term, I want corporate bodies to adopt communities and build libraries for them, because you hear CEOs of institutions say that the graduates coming these days are not good enough. What have you done to ensure that the graduates that are coming in are good enough? It's like a talk shop. All they do is pay lip service to the problem, but they're not addressing the problem from the root. And that's what I want to do.
Put your hands together, man. And your Instagram, you use Instagram for as a...
Yes, it's a class for me, because I cannot stand how people just confuse basic grammar. For instance, some people don't know what they is, there is, and I don't understand. I really don't understand. I try to go into their minds, but I just can't settle down there. So I decided to dedicate my Instagram page to English lessons. So for instance, sometimes I come in with idioms, because you speak to people, even though they're speaking good English, you realize it's not rich with, you know, idiomatic expressions, because that makes the vocabulary very rich, and people are not using it, and I don't understand. So I give them the basic ones, and they give me examples, and people are using it. They come to my DM. For instance, 2 days ago, somebody came to my DM and said, "Oh, Nanaba, what's the difference between supposed supposed to. And I was shocked. But I just said, okay, so this is a problem this gentleman has. So it is basic. The basic things people just don't know. It's alarming. It's a problem for even university students who cannot tell the difference between their and they. Basic. I mean, it's appalling. And they're writing an exam. And sometimes I speak to the chief examiner, and he says that some of the children are failing not because they don't understand the question, but because they are writing shorthand. So whatever they are writing, they use in text messages to their
so they use it in an exam?
Yes, they do that in exam. And that is why they are failing. It's not because they are not learning enough. They are learning. But because parents are not encouraging their children to stop using that shorthand. My son, for instance, will not dare write shorthand. It's an agreement we have. So till date, he doesn't write shorthand. He doesn't speak pidgin English. I told him that it is not what you wear, it is not how you look, it's how you sound that creates an impression on people. So don't be writing, you know, shorthands to me or to anybody. And I go through his text messages and he doesn't write shorthand. We started at a very tender age and it's stuck with him.
So he doesn't write TTY?
No! He do the other LOL and...
No, you don't question of that?
No.
Wow.
No.
So kids are actually writing this in the formal exam now?
They are.
Oh, really?
They are.
Wow.
It is very bad. They write DAT for that.
Yeah.
DRS for this. And when the chief examiner showed me some of the papers, I was shocked.
Wow.
I was shocked, completely shocked. And so I think the teachers should be doing enough, but the teachers themselves are writing shorthand. Everyone is writing shorthand these days. So we are just corrupting the children, you know, for very, very bad reasons. And it's very appalling, really.
Give it up, man! Give it up! Your passion. Well, you're now a very, very powerful voice in the media.
Am I?
You are, Nanaba.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Thanks be to God.
You had this fiasco with TV3.
Yes.
And then.
Yeah.
Was that much to do about nothing, or what did you?
Oh, you know, I told myself I was never going to talk about TV3. TV3 was a fantastic place for me. I mean, I spent over a decade at TV3. They gave me opportunities some media houses never gave me in the beginning. And so I'm forever thankful to them. I love the people there. I enjoyed working with them. I still miss some of the people in there. Do I miss the institution? No, absolutely not. I don't miss the institution, but I miss the people because hardworking people, they have limited resources, but they are willing to break their backs to ensure that the 7 o'clock news has whatever it takes viewers are looking out for. Yes, I had a problem with them about 2 years ago. I think it was 2 years. Oh, time flies. 2 years ago, I didn't think I'll get over it, but I'm completely over it. That issue about Manchester United and the pictures, it was really much ado about nothing. It was, it was a joke. I guess they don't understand how these things work, but I also understood them because it was their biggest name, and that was actually at the butt of jokes. And so and I just thought that it is trolling. Trolling is part of social media. There's no one on social media who trolls more than I do. I troll people a lot, especially football fans. So when that happens, they felt that, okay, this is our time to get back at Aba. And it was a joke between me and them, you know, and the same people and I, we still have banter. We banter on social media. So I think that it was probably a good time for me to leave, because before then, 5 years before that, I had been trying to leave, and every time they would con me with money at that opportunities, and I would stay. You know, for 5 years I had been trying to leave. Even 8 months before the incident, I had tried to leave, and you know, I was convinced to stay. So I think God has a way of doing things. He just felt that maybe this was it. You know, it was an opportunity for me to move, and I knew they were going to call me back. But I also, because of the love I had for TV3 and the emotions and the bond I had for TV3, I didn't want to wait for them to call me, because I know I would have been convinced to stay. So I just
wanted a clean break?
I needed a break.
At which point did GH1 also approach? Did they? Did they take advantage of the chaos and say,
yes,
this is the time
yes, there were a lot of media houses actually
Okay.
that contacted me, so many of them. And they were all very good opportunities. The money was good, everything was good. And I just said to myself, I'm the type that likes challenges. I don't want an already baked bread. I want one that is either half baked or not baked at all,
Then you can
so that I can feel that I was part of it. You know, so there were opportunities. Multimedia approached me. I could have gone to multimedia, but I saw EIB as what I wanted. They were not associated with news. GH1 had never done news. They were known for just entertainment.
Yeah.
And elections were just around the corner. So I just said to myself, would you want to be part of the crowd or be part of the nobodies and turn things around? And so I weighed options, and of course the money there was better.
that helps.
Yes, that helps. It pays the bills. So I took that, and of course Bola Ray is somebody I adore, I respect. He understands me. When this issue with TV3 happened, he was one of the first people who called me and said, Nanaba, I saw what happened on social media. I knew what exactly it was about. If they don't understand it, calm down, don't talk. Because at the time I wanted to come out and talk. But Bola said to me that don't talk to anybody. Just let it blow over. And I allowed it to blow over. So when Bola approached me, I just thought, okay, Bola is somebody I consider a brother, a very good friend. So I jumped with him.
All right. Give it up for Bola. Bola the pusher.
Great guy he is.
Yeah.
Great guy. Yeah.
But you're doing very, very well.
Thank
you know.
you.
Doing very, very well because you went through that rather storm,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
quite uncalled for, but you know, but you kept steady.
I'm
and
a fighter.
Yeah, you're a fighter.
Yes,
and
I
still
also wanted people to know that sometimes you could be caught up in a storm.
Yeah.
But you need to paddle the boat.
Harder, yeah.
Paddle harder.
Yeah.
You will get out of that storm. And when you do, a lot more people will admire you.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Very last question. So is there I know you don't know, you know, but is there a fellow?
A fellow?
Is there a fellow? A man in the system?
Oh.
Is there a man?
Of course.
Somebody. Oh yeah.
Yeah, there is somebody.
Yeah. Okay.
He's very private.
It's very private, yeah?
Yes.
Oh.
He wouldn't want to be discussed. Trust me. If I discuss him, he'll break up with me.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, we won't discuss him. I wouldn't want to be the cause of that.
Yeah.
But one day I want to have you and him here. One day. You never know.
Yeah. I see.
That was so much fun.
Thank you. Yes,
and
thank you. It's great
having you
being
finally, and it's been exciting.
I know. I love your show, by the way.
You do. Thank you
Yes,
so
I think
much.
you're the king.
Thank you. Did you hear her?
You are the king. Not that I think. You are the king.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And it's a pleasure having you.
Pleasure
and,
having
you're doing
you.
so well.
Thank you.
Keep it up.
Thank you very much. Thank
I
you.
want to say you're a man, but I guess I can't. You're a woman?
Oh, let's just say I'm the person.
You're the person, man. You're the person. You're the person. You're the person. You're the person.
Thank you so much.
See you around, folks. We'll be right back.
If you're having as much fun as I am, stay tuned. If you're not, you need deliverance. We'll be right back.